The new Clio RS Line. Performance and poise. Introducing the all-new Renault Clio.
Now the Clio's been a staple for around 30 years. It's a lovable, fun, small car, or in today's world, super mini. I had a 1.2 and I used to covet things like the V6 two-seater, the Clio Williams, and various other Renault Sport editions too. And they were fantastic drivers' cars.
It also had a really great ad campaign. Nicole, Papa, ring any bells? We have the RS line and there are 5 trims in the range to choose from with a number of different engines and sizes.
Well, that's it. You can get a diesel, you can get a hybrid, and you can get the petrol that we've got. This also has a 7-speed, the dual clutch as well. This is around 130 brake horsepower and it's turbocharged.
Prices for the range start at just over £15,000. Ours is just over 22 with options.
And yes, there is a Renault Sport edition. It's 180 brake horsepower and it's a 1.3 turbo.
But?
Yeah, there is a big but. You do have to have it for competition.
And no, that doesn't mean hooning around your garden.
Exactly.
Over 30 years and 5 generations, the Renault Clio has maintained its signature look. You know you're looking at a Clio. It's got a really sloping bonnet which adds to that aggressive look, especially when you see it with a black gloss. And it's partial clamshell like the earlier versions. Also the wings flare out, giving it a wider look. Ours comes in this magnificent Celadon blue and it's an optional extra. Now there are some differences between the 4th generation and this one. For instance, the sculpting on the front lights. They're automatic and they're LED with high beam assist, and you've got LED daytime running lights, front fogs and rain sensing wipers. There's also some differences in the grille as well. The lines here that you see in between the badge used to be how the grille looked. It's now got this quite natty design. And as this is the RS line, you get the beehive design on the valance, you get the F1 blade on the bumper, you've got the RS line badge on the side here, and you also have lots of safety, including active emergency brake and lane keep assist. But we'll get into that when we do the driving section. You also have front parking sensors. The RS line comes with its own design of alloy wheels and they're 17-inch. It's got a low profile tyre, but it doesn't detract from the comfort. This badge here reminds you that it's RS line. You have electrically operated power folding door mirrors, which are heated. The grey satin stripe from the front is continued down the side, and it has Clio written on it, and it enhances the sporty look, she says, falling over. You've got colour-coded door handles and chrome around the windows. You've also got privacy glass in the rear. And to keep the sporty lines, you have no door handle for the rear door. Or do you? Ta-da! You've also got all-round disc brakes which are vented at the front. I like the sculpting of the rear lenses. They wrap around the side of the vehicle and they're full LED. Now, you notice it's actually quite flat, reminiscent of a car we've recently had on review. It gives the rear a very clean look. Grey satin continues in the diffuser here, and check out this oval exhaust. It's a bit of a beast. Very nice. You've got a high-level brake light embedded in the spoiler. You've got your badges that remind you that it's an RS line. And you've got rear parking sensors and a reversing camera.
The fancy new Clio. Let's see how easy it is to get inside. The ride height's not too low, so that should help us. And look, keyless entry. And the thing about the Renault is the card key. First time I saw one of these was I think it was a Megane 225 RS. And I was amazed by it. The card allows you to walk up to the car and it will automatically open. You also have a button here. The doors open nice and wide, and it's a big door opening as well. There is no grab handle, and it's nice and easy to reach this. My word, these cars have changed. My K-Reg basically had a hard plastic dashboard, a cluster, and in this you feel completely enveloped. It's more like a driving experience. Lovely buckety RS seats, leather wrapped steering wheel, lots of premium materials and good build quality. I'm also a fan of this portrait style infotainment screen as well. Now you all know that I love my sporty touches, things like the shaping on these headrests. And look at this, the front and the rear have red trimmed seat belts. We've got all round electric windows, we've got power folding heated door mirrors, they're electrically adjustable and they are part of a pack as well. That's the Motorway pack. On the right hand side I've got some shortcut buttons, including where I can adjust my headlamp height, lane keep assist, and I can adjust the brightness on my cluster as well. Moving to the steering wheel, it's leather wrapped, it's very sporty, feels great. On the left hand side, Renault Easy Drive, adaptive cruise control and lane centering too. On the right hand side you can operate your fuel computer, you've also got your telephony. Behind there is where you operate your media. Now the cluster, it's fully digital, and you've got temperature, speedo, rev counter, and your gauge. And there's zones where you can scroll through that section. For example, on the left hand side you've got your MPG, your Newton meters and things like that. On the right hand side you've got things like your navigation, and below you can see things like your tyre pressure monitoring. You also have a fancy start engine stop button as well. Now when you buy a Renault Clio you can opt for various packs. We've got a motorway pack, we've got a storage pack, we've got luxury pack, we've got a techno pack, and we've also got a premium sound system pack as well. Check out Renault to find out more. Now the infotainment in this car really grabs me. For a start, it's portrait, and you've got your navigation at the top. It has a lovely startup screen as well. Very high def. You've got your media here, DAB radio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and your telephony as well. Volume's here, so there is no rotary dial for that, and home button there. And the pièce de résistance, the premium Bose sound system, 9 speakers and a sub, and it sounds awesome. Heated seats, you can disable your start stop, you've got an eco mode, hazards, and you can lock the car. And below that, these rather snazzy dials. This is where you set your air conditioning. We've got digital readouts here, and yes, rotary, and the switchgear feels great. Below that, 12-volt socket, auxiliary in, and 2 USBs. That brings us to the automatic gearbox. 7-speed, and park, reverse, neutral and drive. And if you fancy manual mode, you've got paddles on the back of the steering wheel. And it's nicely finished off with an electronic handbrake with auto hold. Now I was wondering whilst looking at this car whether I'd have headroom, and yes, ample headroom, ample legroom as well, and you can still fit someone behind me at my height. Driving position, very comfortable, lovely armrest here. This is part of the storage pack, and a padded armrest on the right hand side as well. Nice sporty driving position. Reach and rake adjustment in the steering wheel, and the seats are manual. Finished extremely well in this RS upholstery with the 3-stripe. Nice and buckety, and they hold you well. You also have ISOFIX points on this front passenger seat. This is where you pop the bonnet. You've also lights here and here. I've got a decent sized door bin, quite easily get a bottle in there and some snacks. A deep storage point here. I can also get a wireless charger in here that's part of another pack. You also have this cutout here, and this is where you put your Renault key. Behind that, 2 cup holders and a mini storage point here. Very cool. Glove box, quite a deep area, and storage point here too. Let's see how easy it is to get into the rear of the Clio. As Annabelle pointed out, the door handles are up here. The first time I saw these was an Alfa Romeo many years ago. Now remember, it's not a big car, so the door may not open quite as wide as you'd expect. That's not bad, decent door opening as well. Now the interesting thing is whether I'll fit in the back. The driver may not have a grab handle, but the front passenger and 2 rear passengers all do. And it's nice and easy to reach here as well. The rear of the car is bigger than I expected. I mean, my hair does brush, but I can sit upright and it's quite comfortable. My feet fit under the seat nicely, and legroom isn't bad at all. I've had to put my knees like this because realistically they won't go in the recess. But it's a super mini, and it's set up for me at 6'3". And the one thing you have to expect is it is going to be dark in the back of here, but I used to enjoy that when I was younger. One thing that would have given a bit more light is a sunroof. Nice comfortable seats. They're also quite deep as well. Finished in the RS upholstery, very well trimmed, nice premium materials, and this isn't too upright. 2 people will travel comfortably on a long journey. 3 people at a push, very short journeys. 3 children, should be no problem. ISOFIX points on the back of the seats and airbags around the vehicle too. Door cards are finished nicely. Yep, you have hard plastic at the top, but you've got a sporty inlay in electric window and a padded armrest too. There's also a small door pocket. Would have been nice to see some USBs in the centre, and it's finished off with map pockets. Getting into the boot nice and easy, especially with keyless entry on the key fob. You have the boot pop, unlock, lock, and you can turn on the light. There's also a button under here as well, and you can just reach your fingers underneath. Now I like clever cars, and Renault have thought of the taller person. So the tailgate actually lifts up so I can stoop under. Perfect. Now, small car, so yes, big boot lip, you expect it, but you have 391 litres of space. And you also have a false floor as well, so there's storage under there. Now one of the options is a spare wheel for £200. So that'll make a lot of people happy. If not, you've got an inflation kit. Here's your Bose sub. Easily removable parcel shelf. Just pull these off and then that lifts out. Then you've got 60/40 folding seats. Drop those and the space will increase quite substantially. I mean, you have to remember it's a Super Mini, so you're not going to get a wardrobe in the back of there. But you quite easily get a mountain bike with the wheels off. You've got a light in here, shopping bag hooks and tethering points too. Dropping the seats is nice and easy. You just press this button here and pull forward. And look, no lip between the seat and the boot floor. Just having some fun in my Clio RS Line, or should I say Renault's. It's powered by a 1.3 turbo 4-cylinder engine, and it's coupled to a 7-speed automatic gearbox with dual clutch. And yeah, it's a great driving experience. I'm just going to sit here and grin for a bit. It'll top out at 124. It has 130 brake horsepower and 240 newton meters of torque. It may not sound a lot, but it is in a car this size. And the remarkable thing is, it's still showing me as having 42.4 to the gallon.
Which for you is amazing.
I was going to say, I'm trying to ruin it, and I honestly can't. 0 to 60 in just under 9 seconds. Listen to that sound. One of my favourite bits of road, what I class as the roller coaster.
And as a passenger, I can attest to that.
Oh, I've managed to bring it down to 42.1 to the gallon. The other thing I've noticed is I've done a fair few local miles, 100 or so, and I've used 1 bar of fuel.
You have tried to blaze and have been unable. You've been unsuccessful. One
thing you will notice on B Road, you hear tyre noise. It's not particularly bad unless you're on the worst road in the world, which is a bit like this one, to be honest. On an A road, even with the radio off, it's refined in here, so you don't hear much road noise at all. An engine noise, you only hear what you want to hear. So under load you will hear the burbles and pops and things, but if you're just cruising, no. And bear in mind you've got 45 profile tyres. Let's test our hill ability. My word, what's coming down? So this is floored up the hill. It's quite a steep hill, this. 50 into here. No slide, just grips. Bit of wheel spin, straight into second, you feel it, and you're into third. The smoothness of the gear changes then, it's fast as well. It's a clever box, this. If you floor it, it will hold gears. But at the other end of the scale, if you do a nice leisurely pull out of a junction, it economises. It tries to get into top gear as fast as it can, and it's very smooth. The thing is, there's no lag with the turbo either, so there's no lack of power to speak of. If you're doing, say, 34 and you're in probably around 5th gear, if you just flatten your foot even, it's dropped already. That's it, a lot of people have their reservations of automatic Super Minis, but in my experience, they're good.
You've got lots of safety on this car. You've got active emergency braking, lane keep assist and lane departure warning. You also have traffic sign recognition, electronic stability and active emergency assist. Blind spot detection, easy drive, which is the active cruise control, the stop and go and the lane centering.
Well, let's activate all that now. If we hit set, that is a quick system and we're following the BMW at a decent distance. Now, let's see if we can shorten the distance. It's braked and it's now pulling away again. Very responsive system. There's not much hesitance either when a car pulls over. Even when it goes around a 90-degree bend, like other cars I've driven, it doesn't zip off at 40 miles an hour as soon as it's got a clear view. I think it braked for pedestrians in a parked car then. With the steering mode enabled, you can actually feel the car steer. The one thing we have noticed though is because so many roads have got white lines that have faded, it's not activating it as much. On the bits of road that are well marked out, it works very well.
Miles to the gallon you'll get 49.6 and that's the WLTP figures. I was getting 48.2 and Ben was getting a little bit lower than that.
I'm just under 42, which
is very good, yeah.
Remarkable. I could quite easily see this exceeding 50. Body roll, it's It's there for comfort, but it's only there in little amounts, isn't it? I will demonstrate. This is a 90-degree bend. Now let's enter it about 15. Oh my word, let's not.
It's very responsive. It drives really well. The suspension's great. The steering is just tightens up when you need it to. It's just lovely.
Yeah, well that's it. It's, as I mentioned, chuckable.
Chuckable. I like that technical terminology there.
It reminds me of the Mark II with the conies on. You just kick down and because of the dual clutch, it just changes really quickly. Plus the brakes are fantastic.
Brakes are good.
Yeah, the ride itself is, especially on a, say, a B road, feels a bit rally car.
Yes.
It's everything though, isn't it? It's the position of the seat. It's all buckety. You're enveloped in this like cockpit, and you've got this, oh, the steering wheel. It's finished so nicely. Handling wise, it'll go around corners like it's on rails. Even if you're going slowly, it's not particularly light, and I like a nice weighty steering. It will respond quickly. It goes exactly where you point it. The steering feels fantastic. It just feels extremely sure-footed, well poised, and sticks to the road like glue.
And you just combine that with the awesome suspension.
Well, that's it. It's a racy feel, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But if you slow down, it's still comfortable, and it's bounce rather than bump. So that when you go over something, you kind
take
of wallop.
off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel glued to the road. It's low enough that it handles well, but it's not low enough that it's a problem to get into, or it scrapes all the time. This is the kind of car that I would certainly look at as having as a second car.
Twice down here. I've had a race with a squirrel.
I'm sure you'll smoke the squirrels this time.
But I also think it's only fair to let them win.
Well, yeah. Now it's quite a windy day today, and you don't feel this car affected by the wind at all, do you?
No, there is no buffet pig.
Exactly, there's absolutely nothing. You have start-stop. Now, it may make you a little hesitant to set the lights. So what I do is disable it if I know I'm going to be pulling away quickly, and re-enable it for travelling around the city. What a turning circle.
I've fallen in love with this little Super Mini.
It's fantastic. It reminds me of my old Clio. It really does. Except it's far quicker, far more refined, and really sporty.
Well, this all-new Clio, I think, gives the Fiesta a run for its money.
It does.
A refined Super Mini with good safety, styling, comfort and more. It's Euro 6 and NCAP 5. It offers good fuel economy with an engaging drive and a lightning fast gearbox. It's practical, versatile and stylish.